I keep wondering how the fuck that we even come up with our identities and like what it means to be one person over the course of a lifetime. Like, how do we decide which groups we belong to and what identities we want to put on and what identities we're kind of forced to put on and what identities are kind of spoon-fed to us that we then adopt as our own, but they're not really our own. It's a mess, y'all. So I keep thinking to myself, like, what about these identities that are contradictory? What about identities that I have now or have had in my past or maybe that I'll have in the future that just like contradict my current self or my past selves? And how do we hold space for like all of these different kinds of selves without feeling like hypocrites? And how do I claim the fact that I almost definitely need contradictory inputs in my life? I need religion and spirituality. I also need queer community and queer spaces. And I so desperately want that to just all come neatly packaged in like one place or one vibe. And in some ways I find it, and in other ways I'm still kind of left with unmet needs in all of the spaces that I've found. Like I mentioned in a couple videos ago, one word that's doing just like a crap ton of heavy lifting for me is like multiplicity. I contain multitudes, and that just is the human condition, I think. But I still yearn for this like reconciliation of just like, okay, how do I reconcile my multitudes with each other? How do I own the fact that like I need religion and I need to be queer? How do I convince the communities of each of these places that they're not mutually exclusive? And how do I get us to move beyond that so that it's not just like two different in-groups tolerating each other's like existence in a shared space, and into just like an integration? How do I integrate not just within myself, but like the multiplicities of the people in my community? How do we bring back, if we ever even had it, this kind of like liberal idea of diversity being like a strength? Whereas like right now in our geopolitical hellscape where like evangelical Christians are talking about spiritual warfare, that's toxic as it's crazy to me. You know who the devil is? It's rich people. The devil is Jeff Bezos. You know, I want a cohesive life. And what does it mean to have a cohesive life? I don't know. So, as I sit here and get on my YouTube channel and talk about the same things, multiplicity and yearning and violence and God, I think I'm just trying to use YouTube to synthesize untethered concepts and untethered experiences into like just one unified thing. I think we could probably use more unity in our society and in our individual lives. And I just want to kind of remember that solidarity over all the crappy things is not the only kind of unity that is possible to be had. We can have unity in joy, we can have unity in awe, we can have unity in grace and in reaching out and in helping others. There's a lot of ways we can find unity that does not revolve around constantly hashing out grievances, constant complaints, constant like, yes, you have to look at what's wrong with the system and call it out by name before you can actually start getting to work on fixing what's wrong with that system. And also, we will exhaust ourselves before any of that work can even be done if we do not remember to find joy in the multiplicity of our social circles, if we don't remember to have social circles in the first place, if we don't remember that even as a singular human being, I contain multitudes that are sometimes contradictory, and that I have the ability within me to have grace for the multitudes of others. I really do have to go back inside and get back to work. Eat the rich, y'all. Peace and love.